When you hear this little snippet, you'd know it right away. It's the prelude from Ravel's Le Tombeau de Couperin. This tiny 4-measure idea keeps coming back throughout the piece, 6 times actually. It starts the piece, it ends the piece, and in between, it shows up as an interlude, helping things flow from one section to the next. It's really the glue that holds the whole piece together. So how does Ravel orchestrate this same material each time it returns? What changes and what stays the same? Hello everyone, my name is Yang. I'm a musical explorer who loves patterns. I'm so happy to share my explorations with you today. Let's take a look. First one, the intro. Oboe on the melody, first clarinet on the counter melody. Bass note. The first violins play pizzicato, giving us a clear attack while the clarinet sustains, adding resonance. The pairing of attack and sustain, a structure that we have seen millions of times through the tune in my previous episodes. Next measure, we have a 2-part harmony here. Where do those pitches come from? They are drawn straight from the opening notes of the melodies. Now listen to the oboe. The melody lingers around the pitch A, almost feels like a sustained A. With the viola pizzicato, that's our pair of attack and a sustain. Right away, this procedure feels familiar. First, generating a harmonic support layer, then enriching the sound through adding attack and a resonance. Simple, manageable. Now we have this structure, let's see how Ravel builds on it. The second time. This material shows up at the end of rehearsal 1, leading us to rehearsal 2. First measure. The first note of each line forms the harmony. Pizzicato in the first violins, that's our attack. The top 2 notes are sustained in the oboe and the English horn. That's the resonance. Everything follows the structure. Same harmony in the next measure. Now the texture is lighter. To contrast with the first measure, only the bass note gets both attack and a sustain. Pizzicato in the violas and the sustain in the second clarinet. The English horn just lightly touches the middle voice. The third appearance. It follows the drop from the first climax and leads us back towards the beginning. First measure, the harmony is a G major triad. The top note gets attack in violin pizzicato while the first clarinet sustains the same pitch and pulses along. Underneath, there's an additional resonance layer. Cellos and violas hold long sustained tones. And on the first beat, the double basses add the attack. Next measure, pizzicato in violas. An open fifth drawn from the first notes of both piano lines. The oboe melody stays on A, naturally adding resonance. Compare this with the opening, where the piano writing is almost the same. But listen to the difference in the orchestral texture. You can hear the expansion of the sound image here, more depth. This layer of resonance really changes things. The fourth appearance. This is where the second half of the tune begins. We are now in the development section. First measure, stacked fifth, C, G, D, A. A very clear harmonic pattern here. Notice how Ravel distributes the attack and the sustain across the orchestra. Violas and cellos hold the bottom three voices, laying down the harmonic foundation. On top of this resonance layer, double bass's pizzicato adds attack to the bass note. Under the melody, harp and the second flute pulsing. Harp adds the attack and the flute adds the body. Next measure. Another fifth is added at the bottom. Now we have F, C, G, D, A. Cellos and harp takes the bottom fifth. Cellos sustain, and the harp not only provides attack, but also adds excellent resonance in this register. Middle voices, harp and horn. Harp for attack, horns for sustain. The top note is the melody. Double basses and violas pizzicato reinforcing the attack. A full balanced sound. Now we have some materials in the orchestra that are not very obvious in the piano. Here, look at the melody in the second violins. It's a rearranged version of the piano line. On the piano, Ravel has to work within the limits of two hands, but in the orchestra, we don't have such limit. So the note C is moved up an octave, keeping the same melody contour. Look closer. This counter melody can be reduced to DG, AE. And that becomes the pitches for this rhythmic figure. What an effortless way to generate new layers. This interlude comes back at rehearsal 6. The first measure is just the tail end of the previous section. Thin, light. Only the bass note A gets the bare minimum, attack from the second violin pizzicato and sustain from the first horn. The following measure responds with a thicker texture, stacked fifths, G, D, A, E. Bass note G in harp and the double basses, a pairing of attack and sustain. Harmony is completed with cellos on pizzicato. An extra rhythmic layer derived from the counter melody. Harp, attack, clarinets, sustain. Next measure builds on the first. Harp strengthens the attack. Second horn adds a fifth below, more depth. Same in the last measure. Another note is added at the bottom, adding even more depth. Preparing what comes next. Denser harmony, richer color. Finally, this material returns at the ending, rehearsal 11. Now we have a triadic harmony E minor. Cellos and violas lay out the harmonic foundation in an open position voicing. Double basses thicken the bottom. Second violins add attack, so does the harp. Next measure. The melodies outline an F-sharp half-diminished chord over an A in the bass. The bottom 3 notes form the harmonic foundation. Cello's pizzicato attack, bassoons and horn sustain. Harp reinforces the bass. Second violin's pizzicato accentuate the color tones and reinforce the melody in the first violins, and the pattern repeats. Now it's clear. The orchestration of these transitional materials is built on one simple idea, pairing attack and sustain. So why does this kind of structural thinking matter? In my own process, the biggest challenge is not lack of ideas or lack of knowledge, it's organizing them. Having a system, a structure, a design for recurring material like this helps me narrow the choices. You are no longer solving a new problem every single time. With a structure in place, those problems become variations, and the solutions are simply redistributions within the framework. And that makes everything so much more manageable. Let's hear all 6 variations one more time. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next episode.